practice more.
I think we've all come to realize that Beyblade was fucking insane, but its ending did leave us with a lot of questions. Did Kyoya ever beat Gingka? Is Ryuga really dead? And will Masamune ever stop being a fraudulent ass bitch ass fucked up hairline having ass nigga? Zero G really didn't help. As a matter of fact, to me, it just wasn't that good. I thought it sucked. These bitches had no sauce. So, an epiphany struck me. I'm actually capable of writing stories. So I'm gonna use the resources that I have to create an alternate future for Beyblade that leaves no stone left unturned.
Long ago, long before the Bay Village, a large star fell from the sky. But over the long course of history, the paths the two fragments took diverged from each other greatly. One is darkness. One is light. In the end, the path taken depends on the choices of humans.
What would Beyblade characters really be doing 10 years later? By analyzing the series in its entirety, I'm going to be creating animation model sheets from the ground up, along with detailed descriptions on what our favorite bladers have been up to. First batch, Gingka, Kyoya, and the Dragon Emperor himself. And hey, stay tuned to the end of the video to watch me doodle a handful, a gaggle, a slew of supporting characters. Despite what TikTok and YouTube Shorts will tell you, Beyblade characters have no defined canon ages. The original creator of the manga has explicitly specified that. He also drew this, which makes me doubt that he gives a fuck. So I'm just gonna do what every reliable fan artist does, and I'm gonna make shit up, cause nobody can stop me.
First person I see is Dr. Ziggurat. That nigga is a grown-ass man. And he probably should be investigated by the FBI. The way it's implied is that each season takes place a year after the last, so we're going by Season 3, Metal Fury, pretending like Shogun still doesn't exist. Bao, I don't give a fuck who this guy is, I don't care. Chiyun, there's no way this guy is older than like fucking 10. Damien, fuck if I know. Shine, I feel like by the end of Fury, he's giving college, so. These two guys, I don't give a fuck. Props to Demurray for being like one of the only black characters in the cast who aren't like sniveling bastards. Speaking of black sniveling bastards, Jinga Hagane is 16 by the end of Metal Fury, based on my assumptions. Hikaru, 17 by the end of Metal Fury. She has a job in Season 2. She becomes an assistant, like apprentice to Phoenix in the WBBA. And like, I don't know what the job like age requirements are in Japan. Japan is on some like lunatic shit when it comes to a lot of ages. Honestly, I feel like Dynamis is just like a primordial being. I feel like he's just a deity god that's existed for thousands of years, and he just takes the form of a teenager. So on some like lolly shit, but you know, actually saucy. New tier. I'm gonna name it deity tier. Actual god. Or, but also he just seems like an ancient ass nigga, so he goes in god tier. Rago is like a primordial deity being. He literally got killed when Hades, like when the Zeus's barrier shit fell on him, and he resurrected along with Pluto as like a primordial god, this black cluster of darkness. So they're god tier. It wouldn't feel right to not put him with Kyoya because they also seem comparable. Probably because they're black Air Force energy, like evil ass, savage ass niggas. But you know, Masamune. We need to play Masamune. Reiji. This nigga has like nothing. Can I put a negative tier? Because this guy doesn't exist. All these people are like, seem like high school seniors type shit, but not fully, like, not a legal adult. Like, they can't. I'll just put it, I'm gonna make a tier that's just like, I don't give a fuck. These guys from Team Desert Blaze, I didn't think they were kids. I thought these guys were like grown-ass men, but according to the World Championship rules, you have to be a minor to participate in the tournament. So, I guess these guys are also 17. These Indian niggas that got washed by Kyoya and Nile. I don't care. I don't know who this guy is. I actually do not know who this guy is. What bait is this guy use? What is that? Now that I know how old I want these characters to be, I can redesign them as if they were adults and create my own AU that is probably better than Zero G in terms of plot. That's not a very high bar.
All my designs will harken back to one central theme, roots. So basically, after the Nemesis crisis, the characters' journeys continue in the places that they once began. My art style will be similar to the one that I used for my animated series, The Changers, but with some minute differences too. For the Beyblade designs, I'm giving the eyes a little more gloss and detail to mirror the art style used in the original Beyblade manga. Though other details such as the clothing and accessories will be simplified to fit my more exaggerated shape language. In total, each character will get a page of concept art, a model sheet, and a screenshot from the actual Beyblade show redrawn with the character. I lied. I'm not recreating screenshots. Fuck that shit. Firstly, I create a reference file. I gather a slew of visual inspirations of the character to use in concept art and the final model. At this stage, I sketch out certain aspects of the reference file that I want to include in the actual model. They could be stray accessories. They could be, I don't know, the general facial structure, expressions, and a really rough outline of the full body. With these Beyblade characters, I'm also drawing a short approximation of them as kids so that the differences and similarities between the original designs and mine are easier to gauge. Then I block out primitive color choices and silhouettes for each design. I want to show a natural but subversive sense of progression for the characters. How do I continue where they left off in Metal Fury without it looking like a 12-year-old designed it on DeviantArt? The guiding word for this whole set of designs is roots. How have these characters changed over the past 10 years? How do they call back to the original characters' origins that we already know? And what purpose would these changes serve in supporting the overall story? First, I used Clip Studio Paint's 3D models to line up all three characters proportionally. For Changers models, I usually just wing it because every character is embedded into my frontal fucking lobes, so it's not really needed. But for a series like this, I needed to ensure that I knew what I was getting into. Something tells me that Gingka would grow up to be a short king, Ryuga would be tall and staturous as fuck, and Kyoya is a bit of a nice middle.
Clear the lane for the king!
Come through the fire, level up. Let's go.
This is the power of all the bladers who live on this earth combined! Our hope for the future! Our brightly blazing face!
Gingka Bagane.
26 years old. Does he pay his taxes? Fuck no. You know what's crazy? After defeating Nemesis, Gingka was awarded the title of #1 blader on Earth, and he was given a special Medal of Honor by the WBBA, and he still rejected it. See, when Gingka absorbed the power of every blader on Earth to destroy Nemesis, several unrecognized, insanely strong blader spirits surged into him. He felt some shit inside of him that he never felt before. And the existence of many strong, virtually unknown bladers reignited a fire in Gingka's heart. So for the last decade, he's been wandering the earth alone to find these niggas and reach even greater heights. Sometimes though, he's recognized by hordes of paparazzi, which leads him to take routes to less populated lands. And guess what? Gingka's also a blogger. He's on some Matt Stoney shit. He goes to burger joints to do eating challenges and records everything using an antiquated, busted up, fucked up cell phone from 15 years ago. Imagine the phone equivalent of that Beyblade that you lent your friend in 3rd grade and he gave it back with fucking bite marks. You know the kid. Jeffrey. The unifying theme between all of these designs is roots. The characters are back to where they were when we first saw them, but now they have the development of having gone through several life-defying journeys. Gingka is now a wanderer, once again like he was in the beginning of Metal Fusion, but unlike before when he was training to beat El Drago, he's now training to beat himself. He's the type of guy who pushes himself to higher limits, higher and higher limits, simply just because that's what a blader does. There are no world-ending threats, no crises. It's just Gingka and his own actions. Gingka has evolved, definitely, but out of all the 3 characters being designed today, he's the most like he was when he was a teenager, personality-wise. There are very few gears turning in that head of his, but his heart makes up for it tenfold.
Gingka wields Wing Pegasus. It's red to mirror his father Phoenix and to symbolize the mastery of his emotions. Its attack power is silent but deadly.
Sharpen my fangs on my own. I will hone my skills until I am able to defeat Gingka once and for all. Hear me? With my power alone.
This nigga looks like a dad.
Beyblade Metal Fury ended with Kyoya and Gingka facing off once again. Kyoya lost the battle, as Pegasus has gotten a permanent power amp from all the niggas that he absorbed when he fought Nemesis. So, you know, Kyoya kinda low-key stood no chance. But throughout the months, Kyoya increased his power and relentlessly challenged Gingka. During their final battle on Metal Tower, Kyoya finally managed to squeeze in a victory, solidifying himself as being superior to Gingka at the time. However, because of his conclusive victory, he began feeling empty. For years, his single ultimate goal was to beat Gingka, and now that he's finally done it, his life lacked a real sense of direction until Niall took him in. See, Jinga's friend group had already pretty much disbanded, so Niall and Team Wildfang were the only collective Kyoya could rely on. Once being a leader of the Face Hunters, a position of authority and power, Kyoya felt pathetic towards himself for having to rely on others to feel complete. But after a while, Kyoya began to embrace it. Wildfang was once a team, but now it's a family. Wildfang takes in young stray bladers with no purpose and turns them into those who can stand up for themselves and carve a path in the Beyblade world. Kyoya is as hard of a teacher as you might think. He is putting niggas in the desert. He is putting niggas in the middle of tornadoes. He is putting niggas in Wolf Canyon. He is putting niggas in the wilderness. He is putting niggas, through the gates of hell and back. Better luck next time. You shouldn't have picked fucking Kyoya as your teacher. Nah, but besides that, he's actually pretty chill. Going back to the theme of roots, Kyoya is now once again the leader of a gang of stray bladers. But because of his development, he now understands the value of camaraderie. His gang now exists to uplift unfortunate bladers instead of taking advantage of them. Throughout Metal Fury, Kyoya kept trying to convince himself that having friends was beneath him because he was so focused on Gingka, but now that that mission has been complete, life gave him a wake-up call.
Kyoya wields Duolio. It's less attack-oriented, but the completely round fusion wheel allows for more focused tornadoes and a faster spin speed.
One time, it was only for a brief shining moment, I became serious. I promised. Take it! Kenta!
Ryuga.
Ryuga's second and final loss was against Rago, the wielder of Nemesis. After giving the remainder of his power to Kenta, Ryuga seemingly disappeared for good. But just like when Pegasus vanished at the end of Metal Fusion and needed time for its wings to grow, so did Ryuga in El Drago. So 10 years later, the Dragon Emperor descends again. This time though, things are different. He's not that Black Air Force evil ass nigga that he was before. Through experiences that backfired on him, like the Battle Bladers in the Nemesis Crisis, Ryuga began to question if he was even capable or worthy of wielding such immense power. Rago humbled him, his body left withering and his spirit broken. Unlike the lion Kyoya, there is no found family. Unlike the star Gingka, there is no road to self-fulfillment. Ryuga is purposeless. The spirit of the dragon guides him to one place, Coma Village. Ryuga makes his way from New Mexico, where his loss against Rago took place, to Coma Village, where El Drago was initially encased in a crystal over a decade ago. Along the way, bladers recognize him. Most fear him, some challenge him, and to their surprise, they win. Despite El Drago evolving as a result of Ryuga's revival, Ryuga has no blade or spirit, and thus, his battles are already lost. Citizens of places like the Tower of Babel and Baster Island are almost in awe of the difference between Ryuga's demeanor between then and now. He visits Koma Village's active volcano, placing the Forbidden Bay on its stand. Ryuga becomes El Drago's guardian, a symbol of his acceptance of his new role, his second life.
El Drago Guardian, a more rigid and tactile bay with silver casings of armor. The bay can mode change between attack and defense, altering its color.
My interpretations of these characters might not resonate with everyone due to significant changes and subversions to what we're used to. This, I guess, is particularly true for Ryuga, but in order to fully explore these characters and push them to their narrative conclusions, change is inevitable. This might disrupt the familiarity of the original series. However, it also opens up new possibilities for character development and storytelling. With that being said, here is how Kyoya, Gingka, and Ryuga would look 10 years later. Remember how in the beginning of the video, I said there are going to be a gaggle, a slew, a plethora of other character designs that I'm going to sketch? Well, it's the time. It's fucking 1 a.m. I want to be done with this.
Let's go. Prepare to strike. Now.
Alright, first place.
Speed round, speed round, speed round. I want to go to sleep. Madoka upkeeps her small mechanic shop, taking over her father permanently. Kenta helps Madoka run her shop but also trains scrappy young bladers. Benkei runs a burger joint which Gingka has unlimited access to. Hikaru, CEO of the WBBA with Phoenix as managerial advisor. Woman in STEM, goddamn. Tsubasa and Yu, agents for the WBBA that work to eliminate corrupt schemes. And Masamune, probably out there losing all his fucking battles. Like the fraudulent ass nigga he is. Beyblade honestly has more lore than it needs to, and a shit ton of opportunities, so it would be great if we as a fandom could capitalize on that. Send me your AUs, send me your fan characters, send me your aged up characters. Even if your OC is dog shit and they get married to like Ryuga, I want to see it. Also, subscribe to Blader Spirit. They're our YouTube channel that has the entire Metal Saga up on YouTube for free with the original Japanese openings and endings, which are objectively rawer than the English ones and higher quality than the official release. How do you fuck up that bad? Also, I've had this video on the back burner for a long ass time, so please let me know if you want a second part by getting this video to 200 likes, and I will be drawing the Black Air Force ass, hating ass, savage ass niggas, Doji. Wait, who was it? Doji, Damien, and Rago, and a gaggle and slew of supporting characters. Isn't it great?
Damn, Daniel!